Hello all, this is Dimitri with Ukidz LLC, UGears US. This is the next model in our Smart Series, or actually I should say in UGears Smart Series, Mini Locomotive. Pretty cool, small, pretty quick to assemble model. Let's start by opening up the package. Just pull that little tab on the side. Actually, it doesn't always come out very nice, so I usually use some kind of tool to prop it open. Just need to feed it like just right underneath the cardboard and kind of pry it open a little bit all the way through, and then pull the tab up and unlock it and bring out the box. All right, so what we have here, we got 3 boards and a half. I'm gonna put them aside right away. We have a manual, instructions manual. We have a nice little string in here, and the envelope with some rubber bands. Got sandpaper, I'm gonna put it aside. A little wax stick, put it aside. And some rubber bands. I don't see anything else on there, so I'm gonna put it aside. I'm gonna put that box on the side too. And just a reminder, or not a reminder, just FYI, the extra tools that I have on my table are the little knife, a hobby knife, little precision file. So I use those instead of the sandpaper, but I guess we can use sandpaper also. Have a scissors just in case for that string. Paper clip to pull some parts out, or in and out rubber bands, so sometimes it's helpful. And obviously little extra wax is in here, and sandpaper that comes inside the package. So instruction manual, we have Mini Locomotive, first page as always. Be careful pushing the parts out, make sure you sand and wax everything, work the parts in. So everything will be working once you follow these instructions in the manual. Do not light up the candle, wax, or just because it's a part of the candle. So theoretically you could, but don't. Symbols inside the manual, exclamation mark, obvious thing, just make sure you pay attention. Sandpaper, make sure you sand the part. Wax, that's a symbol for tea light candle wax, with a little toothpick and gear. So make sure you wax the parts. Little 2 gears with airs pointing in the same direction, or I guess one is clockwise, the other one's counterclockwise. Pretty much you need to make sure that mechanism is working and work it in to make sure it's running nice and smooth. When you see a little fan symbol, that means it's a rotational part, or parts that needs to have just a free movement. There is no not attached to anything most of the time. Ruler, obviously use the ruler to cut, splice, pre-cut the rubber bands and stuff like that. And scissors, that's when you need to use the scissor to cut the rubber band. On the next page, on page number 5, shows us what are spare parts that are available. Also shows to remove the burrs from the gears, just to make sure for the smooth operation. And then on the right hand side here, to use the little helping tool, which is located on that little board number 4, top left corner. That helping tool, you can use it to push the parts out, to snap the parts together. Pretty handy. And clean off the wax of your working surface. Alrighty, so moving on to page number 6, and we start the assembly. Step number 1 is we're on board number 1. And we need parts number 1, 2, and 3. Parts number 2 and 3 we need 2 off. So part number 2 is top left corner. Let's see, we need to get 2 of those out for this assembly. 1 and 2. Work them in and out. I usually push them from the front to the back. Part number 1 is at bottom right here. I'm not gonna, well, I'll try to give you the direction and the idea where the parts are at, because sometimes they're hard to be found. Part number 3 is on the right hand side. right at the middle. So let's see, with part number 3, I would recommend to sand it slightly where the connection points are at, and wax it. It does show instructions manual to wax it, so safe to assume that you might want to sand it a little bit too. And you just put wax all around. And we also need to wax part number 2. Now that's part number 3 that we're working on right now. Excuse me. And part number 2, because it's a gear, and gears always need to be waxed. So you're trying to remove the friction or reduce the friction as much as possible. So you gotta put a little bit of a wax, or not, or a lot of a wax on every single tooth of this gear, or any gear that we're working with. So, and this is going to be our subassembly A2. In order to push on little part number 1, we can also wax these little tabs, because that will give us a little bit of less friction in there, so it's easier to push the parts through. Let's see. And we want to get it, these 2 little gears, all the way to the middle. So make sure your rectangle is in correct position there to part number 1. And then we lock it up with parts number 3 on both sides. So it'll be like a little symmetrical little tiny gear set. And that's our A1. A2, for A2, that's the step number 1 on the right hand side of page number 6. We need part number 2, top left corner. Part number 4, right next to part number 1, the one that we just pulled out, and part number 3 to the right, right in the middle, to the right of the center line on the right hand side. So same thing, there's a little connection points, they're sunk in a little bit, but just to be on the safe side, we apply a little bit of a wax there, or sanding, sorry, and then you wax it all around. So just to make sure to get rid of all these burrs and reduce the friction, sanding and waxing is a good idea. Otherwise, I mean, you can still do without it, and I have done the assemblies on the simpler assemblies without wax and sanding, but the problem is that here's a little burr that I'm going to remove. The problem is that once you start working it in, it'll just take a little longer until the parts will sand themselves, right? Once again, the friction is pretty large on the wood parts, so sanding, pre-sanding is much better than leaving them unsanded. And once again, you're just trying to remove the friction as much as possible. All right, so part number 3, and we're done with A2. I'm gonna put it on the right hand side just to make sure we don't mix it up. Step number 1 on page number 6. We need part number 5. That's the large on board number 1 on the right hand side of the center line, with a little long tab towards you. Part number 7, which is going to be a little bit above the middle on the right hand side there. Part number 6, let's see, that's on the left hand side right in the middle there. Part number 8, which is right next to 1 and 4 that we already pulled out. And then part number 9 is at the top right corner there. All right, so part number 9, let's see, we need to sand this surface. So in this case, instead of using my little precision file, I'm going to use the sandpaper and then just kind of apply it towards the surface. And few runs, you don't have to do a lot. Number 9 with the little decorations towards the outside, away from you. Put it there, that way. Number 8 with the little horseshoe facing towards you into this hole right here, right next to the rounded hole. Then part number 7 is gonna go in this little rectangular that is closer to you. And then part number 6 with the taller tab towards you or left hand side is gonna go into these 2 holes right here. Alrighty, so we got step 1 completed. Moving on to page number 7, step 2. Part number 2, A2, that we just assembled is gonna go into this hole right here. This is a first round hole on the left hand side. And then this little slot, that's where our A1 is gonna go into, in that little slot here. So I think it's gonna be engaging with A2, but instead of being in a hole, it's going to be in a slot. Moving on to page number, we're still page number 7, bottom of the page, step number 3. We need part number 11, top right corner. Part number 12, let's see, which is going to be on left hand side, part number 12 and 13. They're right next to each other, top left, and I'm going to use the tool to pop these out. And then let's see, for the step number 4, we'll need parts number 2, 3. So part number 2, just gonna get myself prepared. Part number 3 on the right hand side. And then let's see, part number 14. Part number 14 is gonna be on the left hand side, little washers here. All right, let's see. So we need to wax, clean off the little burrs, if you have any, on the gear. And wax the gear all around. Then number 11. And then it also shows that we need to wax it on the both sides. And then 12 we can insert with a little tiny fork towards inside, and the larger fork is gonna go against part number 13, and it's gonna go only so far, so short on the back, long on the front, and then part number 13 goes all the way in, and you need to make sure that it's flush on the other side as far as it can go. All right, then step number 4, we need to put part number 2, which also needs to be waxed. Make sure there are no burrs or little splinters or anything like that. So wax it all around. That's gonna go over. And then it's only one direction that it can go, because there's you need to go as far as you can, so there's quite a bit of a room. And then we lock it up with port number 3 that needs to be check if there's any connection points that you need to send. If not, just wax it and put it over to lock that part in. It's not going to go all the way down to the gear, but there's going to be a little bit of spacing. And then part number 14, also wax it all around. It looks like connection points are within the cutout, so we should be fine without sanding it. But if you do, it doesn't hurt. And that's going to go on the bottom of that larger gear. All right, so that's our A3. Moving on to the page number 8. Step number 1, we need two parts number 16, 17, and 15. So 15 is top right corner, and 16 and 17 is going to be on the left hand side right below the middle. Once again, I need gonna use the helping tool to get those out. And then one more time, we need part number 2, part top right corner, part number 3 on the right hand side in the middle, and then part number 14 bottom left. So a little bit of gears that are going in that little model. I'm removing all the burrs. All right, first thing first, gonna take a new stick, gonna apply all around on the gear number 15. And that one, 16 and 17, once again with the little teeth going inside. As far as it can go. And then part number 17 over it. Until they're flush. Okay, and then the next step, number 2, we need to wax the gear and parts number 3 and 14. Part number 3 is the smaller one. And then 14 is the larger one. All right, so gear number 2 is gonna go over the top as far as it can go, and then we're gonna lock it up with with the washer number 3. And then 14 is gonna go on the bottom here, just like that, locking it up, and that's our A4. So A3, A4, and then on the bottom left of page number 8, we have step number 1 for A5. We need parts number 18. That's the tall on the left hand side, right below the metal. Little tall rod. 2 parts number 3 on the right hand side. And then 1 part number 2, which is in the top left corner, right next to all the other 2s. Clean off the burrs, and once again wax the gear number 2, and then wax parts number 3. All right, so we take number 18, with that thicker portion towards the bottom, longer rod on the top. We put gear number 2 all the way down to that thick portion, and then part number 3 is gonna go, it's gonna be a little bit of a spacing between the gear and part number 3. It's not gonna go all the way down, but it has to go pretty far. So that side's sticking out, and same thing on the bottom. All right, that's our A5. Put it aside, and now we take our sub-assembly, and then A3 is gonna go with the larger gear towards the top. Is gonna go into this hole right here, and I missed a step. How did I miss the step? Yeah, I put A1, A2, and I missed number 10. And that's right at the center of board number 1. And we need to wax or sand the portion. Let's see, with that opening to the right hand side, the rectangular hole on the bottom, we sand that internal portion, internal side, clean out from the sanding piece, and that's gonna go over these little parts here. So I screwed up, I didn't see it right away. So you need to make sure all these, okay, it's gonna go all the way in, and then the rounded portions will get right into the slot and the hole. So the gear is still moving, this gear is moving, so we're all good. Come back to page number 8, and then A3 is gonna go over it, interlocking with the A2 on the smaller gear, and then the top gear is gonna stay, looks like it's gonna stay at the top. Didn't push that all the way in. Here we go. The little larger gear is gonna be over that little piece number 10. Then next to it is gonna be a 4 that's gonna go into that larger hole, interlocking with gear number 11 with a smaller gear number 2. And then not this hole, but the one over, that's where your A5 is gonna go. Let's see, with looks like with the thinner portion down. All right, so it's gonna go in here. Make sure you don't push it all the way in. So the gear is gonna be right within that part number 8. I'm gonna put it on the side right now. Moving on to the page number 9. Step number 1 at the top. We need parts number 19, 20, and 21. 19 and 20 on the left-hand side. And gear 21 is the top right corner. Clean off little burrs. Usually they're the connection points. And those are preventing it from operating easy. Make sure you apply the wax on the gear's teeth all around, and then part number 19 and 20 is going to go within each other, and from the bottom push it through gear number 21. Leveling against the table and pushing it in to make sure that it locks in completely. And then we need our part number 2, top left corner, part number 3 on the right hand side below the middle now, and then 14 bottom left. All right, same thing as on the previous sub-assemblies. Need a little bit of a wax on all these parts. Part number 14. And then part number 3. All right, so now we take this where the longer tab is at. That's where the part number 2 and 3 is gonna go. 2 and 3. And then number 14 is gonna go on the bottom here. So that's gonna be offset a little bit from the gear. And that's our A6. And then step number 1 on bottom of page number 9 on the left hand side, we need parts number two number 3s on the right hand side. Part number 2, which is to the left of the center line all the way at the bottom. That's an extra one outside of these little sets. And then part number 22 right below the middle on the left hand side all the way at the edge. There we go. Once again, part number 3, both of them. And part number 2. Sanded, actually waxed, not sanded. So this is going to be like a little triangle at the top where the slimmest portion is at. That's where part number 2 is going to go, and part number 3, and then one on the bottom there. And that's our A7. Step number 1 on page number 9 on the bottom center, we need parts number 23, 24, and 25. They're all on the left hand side, top left. So 23, 24, and 25. All right, so let's see, 23 is going to be the first one. We need to put a little bit of wax on these little tiny tabs. All right, then 24 is gonna go right over it with a start and stop towards the top, and then 25 is gonna lock them in together with the longer and thinner piece towards the left hand side. Let's see, I'm gonna push it through number 24 first. My wood splintered a little bit, so I'm gonna remove that splinter and then push it through part number 23 all the way in, just like that. Step number 2, coming back to our sub-assembly. Let's see, this start stop is gonna go with the rounded portion to the right hand side into this little tab or slot, and then A7, let's see, A7 will gonna go on that bottom hole with the gear towards the top, and then A6 with the part number 14 towards the top. It's gonna go on that hole on the right hand side with the number 2 gear locking onto gear on the left, and then we need to make sure that this little guy stands here and locks the larger gear, locks with number 2 on the right hand side. All right, moving on to page number 10. Step number 3, we need part number 26. That's on the left of the center line on the whole board. And then with this longer tab in the same direction as the one on the bottom, we need to send this internal part there because all the gears going to be rotating against it. So send it, clean it off a little bit, dust it off, and we need to make sure all the gears will match up. Make sure this little guy kind of stays all right. Line it up, push them in. Here you go. This one's in, this one's in, this one's in, this one's locked, everything is locked, this one's locked. The little start stop sits nice and clean too, and we're locked all around. All right, now on this little guy here, we need to put parts number 27, 2 of each, on both sides. They're on the bottom left, 2 of them, and right. Then put this board on the side. So they're gonna go right onto this little tab. Once again, make sure the gears are engaged, they're inside. And once you put these 2 guys on each side, it should kind of lock it in place. It's not gonna move anymore. And make sure that nice little circle that is marked on the outside, it faces towards the outside. So the pretty surface, just like this. Now we need to move this little portion towards the back, towards the where air points to the start. And then we need to rotate this large gear and make sure that all the gears are spinning nice and easy. Because right now I do have a lot of friction in this thing. And make sure when you spin it that it's, well, this one is a little bit slower, right? So, but this gear, Nice, both ways, nice. And I mean, there's a little bit of a friction that I can feel. But all the gears are engaged except this bottom one, which for some reason not engaged. No, that's all good. And then, well, and this guy obviously too, so it will engage as I move it up and down. All right, moving both directions and all fine. All right, moving on to the page number 11. Step number 1, we need parts number 30, 31, 29, 14. So 14 is still on board number 1, top bottom left. Board number 2, we got parts number, let's see, there's also 14 in here, 30 and 29. On the left hand side, top left. And then part number 28 is that large gear on the top right. And then part number 31 is going to be right next to that large gear. We need 2 wax, part number 31. Part number 14. And part number 31. I did 31, I did 14, and obviously the large gear number 28 needs to be waxed all around. All right, so 29 and 30, they're gonna go within each other, kind of like forks, all the way. Make sure they're flush. And then 28 is gonna go from the longer side, from this edge. All the way up until these little tabs. Careful pushing it in, but it should go. If it's too hard, I should have put a little bit of a wax on it. It would have went much smoother, but they have to be all the way up to here. Then 14, lock it from one end. And then 31, larger gear, locks it on the other end. There's a directionality on it, so make sure you properly oriented in order to push it in. And that one's gonna go in with the little parts sticking out. All right, that's our B1. Moving on to the bottom of page number 11, step number 1. We need a nylon thread, length of 850 millimeters, or 33.5 inches. So I do have my measuring tool here. I don't think they put one on here, but it looks like it might be the full length of the string. So let's see, I'm gonna start with 0, gonna go to 400, and then another 450. I probably need to cut a little bit of a string. They just give you a little bit of an extra. All right, so that's 850. Cut it off. Put it aside just in case you may need it. Then we bring the 2 ends together, and then we make a loop around your finger and take the ends and push them through this loop. So I kind of make the loop around from the bottom and then come from the top with the ends and push them in, and then just make a knot, but I need to make sure that the length of that loop, the larger loop, is about 40 centimeters. So that's almost at the edge there. All right, and then I tie it and cut off these little two ends so they're not on the way. I need new scissors because these are dull. Perfect. Come on. Let's do a little haircut. All right. Just gonna do this with my X-Acto knife. All right. All the split ends are gone. And I just untied it. All right, let's do one more time. Try, loop it around, put the string through the hole. Get it as close as possible to the ends. I guess not that close. And take extras off. All right, so we have nice long loop here. Moving on to the page number 12, and here, step number 2, we take the gear with this thing towards you. All right, the end with a little knot. We're gonna push through this little slot here, tie it all around, and then push the end let me get a little bit more length out of it. So open it up and then push the other end of the string through this end and make sure it's all stays on the gear. And then as you tie it, make sure it's gonna go that edge, or the little knot's gonna go against that little slot. And so we go, knot is on this side, you loop it around, push in between, push through the string, and then tie it up on the gear. And put it aside for now. Step number 1 on page number 12. We need 2 ports number 32. They're on board number 1 bottom here, and there's 2 on the right hand side. And we need 2 of them, so we need total 4 pieces. And then 4 number 14s. So this one's empty, we can throw it out. And number 14th on the top left corner of board number 2. We need all 4. Because they're gonna go top and bottom. All right, number 32s, they're gonna go onto each other to make a little rod. Little splicing situation here. Let me put a little bit of a wax on the inside of these little forks, so that will help to snap these parts together. And then while I'm with the wax, I might as well put a little wax on number 14s here. Just check and make sure that we're recording. right, all around. Okay, it's all good. 32 all the way in. 14 and 14. One side and then the other. And then the second one. Make sure they're flush. And then 14s. One end and then the other. There we go. All right, now we need to use our sandpaper and sand right within these little center of these little connection points, or not connection, but these little drums. Because there's no easy way to do it. Just rotate it all around and making sure that we remove all the burrs and from there. All right, and then we need step number 3. We need 2 parts number 34. They're on the right hand side, a little bit about the middle here. 33 and 34. So 34 on the top, 33 on the bottom. 34's got 2 little holes on here, the little rectangular holes. 33's got a slot. The round off portion are on the same parallel to each other. Flat stuff is also parallel to each other. And then we're moving on to the page number 13. Step number 4, we need part number 35. That's on board number 2. That's a long piece to the left of the center line. There's 37, and then it's to the left of 37, part number 35. Part number 36, that's going to be on the right hand side here, right above the middle, and then B2, our B2 later on. Here for the part number 35, we need to sand within these little circular openings. Kind of squeeze here. I would also wax or sand the flat surfaces just to be on the safe side. Not sure which one's gonna go where. This front portion, the little tab towards the back, 36 gonna go in this center hole here, and then part number, this little sub-assembly with the 2 holes towards the top, they're gonna go into these little 4 holes here. Actually 3 holes and 1 slot. Make sure they're all the way in. And the little gears are within that also. And then our little B2 with the string is closer to you. It's gonna go into this hole right here, all the way on the right hand side, just like that. And we need to, which I made a mistake, I should have pushed that little string. I can still push it through here before attaching it completely. Close to these little drums and closer to the surface of part number 35. So as I pull it, Just need to make sure that that string is over the drums. Just like that. Once again, holes towards the top. String is over the drums and sticking out closer to part number 35. And as we do that, we put part number 37 and step number 5. We put it towards on the other side to lock this in. Once again, I would sand both surfaces, and I would sand, I don't think these little holes need sanding, but just to be on the safe side, because that's where it's pointing to, but it looks like it's just pointing to the outside surface. All right, so I'm gonna make sure you don't lock up your string, or don't lock it with the little connectors, because you won't be able to pull it. All right, our little sub-assembly here. Make sure all the axles are within their holes. All right. Page number 14. Need step number 6 at the top. You need parts number 38. Bottom to the right a little bit of the center line. We need part number 39. Bottom right. Part number 41. That's going to be on board number 3 on the bottom right. And parts number 40 back onto the board number 2 on the bottom left. There's 2 and 2 spares, just in case. Now follow our exclamation point and make sure all the numbers are correct. So first, we're going to take 41, 40 on the bottom. The little 40s, or 39 on the bottom, little 40 is going to go into these little 2 holes. And as you insert them, they should be in a lengthwise axis. We use our little helping tool to make sure that they're inserted all the way and sit flush. Then we put part number 40 over it. And that's our key. All right, make sure also flush. Then make sure the arrows are pointing in a clockwise direction. We're going to put our key through these 2 larger holes on left and right of this part. I'm going to put a little bit of a wax on these little tabs. Is towards the top, but looks like you need to make sure that they're fully connected, because otherwise it's not going to fit. Here you go. One side is good, and the other side sits all the way in. And then that's gonna go from the side where the string is attached over this little gear. There's a directionality, so make sure you putting it on correctly all the way in. All right, and that's so the string goes through here, it's sticking out on this side, and then it's attached onto this gear. Moving on to page number 15, step number 1. Let me clean up my spacing here. Step number 1 on page 15. We need parts number 42. They're on board number 2. 42 is to the right and a little bit below the middle, to the right of the center line. I'm gonna use a helping tool. part number 43 is going to be on the left hand side, right in the middle here. And then two parts number 44, they're a little bit kind of like halfway. So first, we're gonna do part number 42. It's gonna go through this, so there's a T-shaped tab. Put it closer to you, and then push the part number 42 from right to left through this little slot on the bottom, all the way in until it sticks out. Next step, we're gonna go with this little tab towards the top and towards you. We're gonna put it over these little, on the other end, on the back. I'm gonna rotate it so the gear is away from you. It's gonna go towards the back. Then push it all the way in. I'm gonna use my helping tool here a little bit. Give me a little bit more leverage. And then we're gonna put parts number 44 to lock this part in over the tabs. All right, now, let's see, we need to take our string, bring it under the gear and towards the top, just like this. Hold it. That should go through that, over that T. And then we put part number A, or subassembly A. There's two little tabs, they're gonna go in here, another two into this one. So kind of like centered. Make sure the string is on the right and left hand side of it. All right, so we don't interlock it or anything like that. All right, center here, and these guys are in too. Make sure you apply, when you apply pressure, you actually give a counter push where the tabs are at, so you don't break any other parts off. All right, and that's our assembly complete on page number 15. Moving on to page number 16, our step number 4. We need 3 rubber bands. A little bit more than that in the package, or like in my case it's 5, but we just need to take 3. We push it, combine them all 3 together. Step number 5, we're gonna push it through this little opening here of the string, and we're gonna bend the rubber bands kind of halfway so they're doubled up. Just like this. And then we start winding into the clockwise direction. Just give me a sec. One more try. Just like this. Push them all in and bend them over. And then I'm holding it with my finger, and as I'm rotating this, takes a little bit of it's gonna start pulling the rubber bands. There is a little bit of a friction that I feel as it pulls the rubber bands. We're gonna slide them over that little T to lock them in place, and then keep on going to make sure the rubber band starts stretching out. All right, now as it stretches out, that's done with B4. Moving on to the page number 17, 90 degrees, let's see, put it into start. That should, as we rotate this, let's see, the gear should unwind. Right, so we rotate this, then we move it into the start position. Not sure what 90 degrees means, but put it in start position, and then it should unwind the other direction. Let's see, let me find the gear that am I unwinding it? Yep. So we're rotating this counterclockwise to unwind it. Takes a little bit of an effort. I guess I can try to get this gear inside to unwind it a little bit faster. So, and we need to do 20 times to get the gears working and to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. So as I'm unwinding, I'm doing this little gear on the inside and kind of rotating it. If you look from this direction, I'm rotating it counterclockwise, well, either direction counterclockwise, so that little rubber band unwinds. So right now there's still a lot of friction, so it doesn't do it on its own. So we have to run about 20 times. Lock, 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be about good. Let it go. Let it unwind, or help it unwind first. That's our try number 2. Probably need to do more than that, but there we go. Now I can rotate this knob 4 more times. Lock, well, 18 more times. 3, about 4. Lock, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unlock. Lock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, maybe 7 times. Oh, it's already moving. Unwinding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, there's a lot of friction here. So 1, 2, 3, 5. Let it go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. Come on, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unlock. 2, 3, 4, 5. Work it in. The more you work, the easier it's gonna go. longer it's gonna go. So just need to work it in, play with it a little bit. I don't want to say 20 times, I think it's gonna need more than that. And it needs to unwind until the rubber band is fully relaxed, right? So right now, I mean, in my case, goes for a little bit, just need to give it a little bit more push, lock it up, continue playing, unlock, see how far it's gonna go. It should go like much easier than what it is in my case. Oops. So remember how much wood we put against each other. So there's all that friction is inside there that we're trying to get rid of by just playing with it. Make sure your rubber bands don't fall off. Oh, much better. So I'd say it's more than 20. I think I'm already at 20 somewhere, but it's not moving far enough. It unwinds, but it doesn't go until the rubber band fully relaxes. Here we go, it's much better. Probably, maybe a little bit more than just 20. I'm trying to see to make sure the rubber band clears at least this little opening here. Like right up there. So let's see if I can get it to run through all the way down there. Yep. Well, if you want it to work, you need to fiddle with it a little bit, you know, play around, make sure you get it nice and smooth. Here we go, almost there. Yay. There you go. Almost there. I'll give it five more tries so I don't bore you guys with it. But I'm getting it almost unwound where I think it's supposed to be. You don't have to do it. I mean, it stops a little sooner, like it stops right by this gear. And I think that should be fine, because we're gonna need to play with it a little bit more further down in the assembly, because this is only like the first part. All right, one more try and we're good. I probably did like maybe, I don't know, 30, 40. There you go. All right, leave it at that. Done with this step. Moving on to the page number 17 bottom. Step number 1, we need parts number 45, 46, 47, then 48. So 45, we need 3 of those, so we need 3 45s. 1, 2, they're on the right and left hand side of the board. We need part number 46, also 3. Part number 47, 3 pieces, bottom right, 1, 2, top left, 3, and part number 48, bottom left. So, and here we only got spare parts left. We need 48. So I'm gonna take the board away. I'm just gonna put it aside right now because we don't want to throw it out until we get everything used up and the assembly is complete, because you don't want to run out of parts all of a sudden and not have spares. All right, clean out the burrs. We need to wax the gears. 1 gear, two gear, 3 gear, and part number 48. And we need to put 45 and 46 together and then insert those parts. I'm gonna put a little bit of wax on the outside of all these guys and on the inside forks. Just, it will make it easier to slide all these gears on. All right, so 45, 46. All the way in. The thicker portion is gonna be away from you, so the gears are inserted from the longer side. All the way in, and then part number 48, also as far as it can go. And repeat the process 2 more times. Lots of wax. And one more time. All right, B5s are ready. Moving on to page number 18. Take our sub-assembly, turn it upside down with the gear towards you. These gonna go from inside through, and then make sure the gears line up. All push it into that larger hole, push it back, line up with the gear. And then same thing for the third one, through the hole and line up with the gear. All right, and then part number 48, we need to wax them. That's the 3 that are left. Wax them all around. And we lock them all in. Now, we need to make sure that all these axes are horizontal and vertical rather than being in one direction. We're probably going to have to rotate a little bit. Vertical. Might not fit correctly, so we might want to just rotate them a little bit if needs to be. That one's vertical too. Got these two to line up. Once again, make sure it's all the way in. And the third one. All of them are facing up and to the sides. And now step number 3, we insert part number 49, 3 of them, 1 2 3 at the board number 3, 1 2 3, part number 50 on the right hand side. We need timing, and part number 51 to lock them all in, bottom left. All right, now let's see what the timing should be. Extra 51s, we'll leave it for the next one. All right, so these little opening, all holes, should face towards you as you put these wheels on. 1 2 3. Then you put part number, let's see, we need to put a little bit of wax on the inside of these little holes on part number 50. That's gonna go over these little 4 openings, and then part number 51, we're gonna lock those in. One, 2, and 3. I'm gonna use a helping tool just to push them all the way into the hole until you hear that little clicking sound in my case. Then we keep it up, turn it around, and then the other 4 wheels, number 49, they're the center there. You're gonna go with the little tabs towards the bottom of the train. Uh-oh. Make sure your gears are all inside and lined up. That's where it becomes tricky a little bit. Need to make sure that these, because this gear engages with 2, so they are all interlocking, so you need to make sure that they're all sitting properly, and then vertical, as close as you can get them vertical. Now the other side is the same thing. Now the tabs are facing towards the top as they have this upside down. Locking it all in. Now, same thing. We need parts number 51 and 50 on the right hand side here. We need all right, we got our part number 50 and then 51. To lock those in. One and 2. And 3. Once again, I'm just putting them in. Make sure they sit in those openings. And then I'm going to use the helping tool to lock them in. There we go. There we go. All right, we're step number 5. So this bar is on the bottom, I mean at the top, this one's on the bottom, so make sure you have them correct direction. Alrighty, and let's see. Step number 5, we need parts number 54 They're on board, now we all board number 3. 54, bottom left. Sorry, little pause. Need to help the family. All right, so back, part number 54, bottom left. 53. Let's see. We need 2 ports number 3, top right. And let's see, 52. 52 is going to be on board number 4, on right in the center on the right. And then 53 are little tabs. Let's see, they are 51s we got. They're right in the middle here, right between 49s, 1 and 2. All right, so number 3 needs a little bit of a wax all around. And let's see, we're gonna do 53. Number 3 is gonna go right at the center of it. 52 on the outside. And then as we push it through, let's see, that's gonna be through the back wheels here. So we push it through here and we put a 54 on the other end. A little bit tough there. Need to make sure you line up the little tabs. So like if you make sure it's vertical, start putting the 54 over vertical. I would use the tool, kind of line it up a little bit and push it over. Make sure it spins nice and freely. And do the same thing on the other side. So we need to make sure that number 3 is in the center. I guess another option is to put 54 on first. Uh, 54 on first, then 3, then push it from the back, and then put a 50, because you can hold it easier. Then you put a 52 over it. Also make sure that it spins nice and easy and free. And then on the back of it, that was the back. On the front, you need part number 57. That's on board number 3, bottom right. As it goes into these 2 tabs. Then part number 55. Let's see, that's a long piece on the right hand side here. Left hand side, sorry, apologies. Getting tired. Part number 3, top right, 2 of them. And then part number 56 on the left hand side. We just need 2 for now. All right, so kind of similar situation, but part number 3 needs to be waxed. And I'm gonna do 1 end first. So part number 3 is gonna go on first. far as it can go. Then I'll put part number 56 on here. And then we can do another 3 on the other side. All the way in. And then we kind of slide these into the holes and then put on, holding it from the back, the rod, putting number 56, and then once again make sure it spins nice and free, so like once you work that wax end, it should go easier. And we're done with B6. Alrighty, moving on to the page number 20. Now we need to work it in, kind of similar as before. Lock it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unlock it, and then now we need to make sure that the wheels spin also. That's going to be a little tough in the beginning. Kind of have to rotate them all at the same time. And then also 10 times. All right, they got these working. Lots of friction in here. But then every time you do it 10 times, it should ease up the friction a little bit, and should be able to unwind it. Unlock. Go a little more. That's our try number 2. You see the wheels are somewhat spinning, but need help a little bit for now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. Here, come on, come on. We're gonna get over this little friction situation after a few tries. And I know it says 10 times, but I'm probably gonna have to do more than 10. As I mentioned, there's more friction coming, and that's where we at. But it's already much easier than it was in the beginning. Just keep on working. You can probably skip through all these portion as long as you're doing the same thing. Well, I'm gonna put you on pause so you don't have to watch all this boring stuff, but I keep on going. Just keep on doing the same thing as I'm doing. All right, finally, I want to say probably about 50 tries, we finally got it working. So wind up, let it go. It unwinds almost to the same point when before I install the wheels. They're actually a little bit past below, and it looks like we got it nice and smooth, but it actually takes off and goes at least a little bit. So it still needs a little bit more working in it, but it's getting a little bit late in the evening. But with a little push, so there's still a little bit of burrs here and there, but it looks like every single now is consistent. It unwinds pretty much every single time with a little stutters here and there. Let's see, and it pretty much, if there is no stutter, it just keeps on going. There you go. So that completes our step on the top there. We need on page number 20 step 1 on the bottom. So we need part number 62. We're gonna start with the back. So 62 on board number 3 at the top here, top left. So these parts are a little fragile, so let's be careful pushing these out. So 62 goes on the back. Let's see, there's exclamation point. So there is a little tab. There's one closer to one side, so it should be on your left as you're facing the front of the locomotive here, and because then it's gonna slide into the specific slot there. So it goes in here. Then 61 is gonna go into the closer slot in the front. Also on board number 3 there. That's a front use. There is no exclamation point, so no, that's why, because we need to go right into the slots. All right, this side is fine. Little pressure. Then part number 60. That one's on probably, looks like on board number 4, right a little bit above the middle here on the right hand side. Oop. Our extra wheel, spare 56. Let's see, that one's gonna go, or maybe not spare. So this part number 60 is gonna go up front. And then part number 58, 4 of them, they're on the bottom here. 1, 2, and 2 on the top. So 58 with the tab, let's see, towards the front. It's locking the part number 60 at the top. Nothing on the bottom. And then 59, it's on bottom right of board number 3. Helping tool. Make sure you don't break it. That goes right at the front. Almost all the way up to the wheels. Moving on to page number 21. And here we got part number, we'll start with a 63. They're on board, let's see, that's probably on board number 4. 63 right in the center here, on the top and on the bottom. So those gonna go on the back. Bottom here, with the thicker portion towards the back, so there's a little tab that's going to be sticking out closer to the front. Once again, hold the plates from the back just to make sure that you don't snap neither the part nor the plate. Then parts number 64 and 65, they're on board. 64 is in the top right corner there. The 64 is going to go on the left hand side with the tab kind of like away from the locomotive, and it's going to go all the way at the top here. That's good. It's actually in this right by the key. And then 65 is going to go on the other side. So 65 on the bottom right. It's going to go in this slot. And also away. The little tab facing away. just like this. Then 63s we did. Next step, number 3, we need port number, let's see, 67 and 66. So 67 is on the left hand side here on the board number 3, and that's when I'm gonna go on the right hand side. So make sure you fit all the tabs. Make sure it snaps everywhere. And then 66 is on the other side. That's top right corner. And it's going to go on the opposite end. So make sure you line up all the tabs. So I do this front 3 first, because that one's going to be the hardest to put on. They need to be like perfectly lined up with the holes. And then one by one, you line up the other ones. Oh, this part should be where the 3s are. It should be out. Just like this, and make sure everything, it sits everywhere all the way. And then part number 68 goes on the back. And now let's see, 68 is going to be on board number 4. That's the top left corner here. And that's going to go into these little slots here, tabs, sorry. And then 69, there are 2 of them in the top left corner of board number 4. They go on the, that's where the cutting tool comes into play. You just find these connection points and kind of like snap them through. And then you should be able just to take these apart. So these guys gonna go into this in the back. Into the second and third little parts here. 1 and 2. Nice little decorative pieces. And then step number 4 on page number 21, bottom, we have parts number 72. They're on board number 3. 72, 71, 72 on the left, on the right, 71 at the left, and then part number 70, which is on board number 4 at the top here. There's some parts that might be missing soon, but I just need to watch out. So 70 is gonna go right at the front here, the top, right at the center, and then 71 on the left hand side, and 72 on the right hand side. just like this. That's our B. Moving on to the page number 22. Step number 1, let's see, part number 77 and 74. On board number 3, 74 is right at the center here at the bottom. We'll put it on the left. 77 is going to be on the right. That one's going to be, let's see, top right corner of board number 4. Then we need part number 75. That's on board number 3, top left corner here. Part number 76. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 2 on the bottom left of board number 3. Board number 4, top left. I just lost it, number 3. And center left, but there should be some spares. All right, let's see. 74 is gonna go from the back, 75 into the 74 from the back. That's our little hook. And use the leverage to completely insert it. And we need part number 73. They're on board number 3, and now a little bit to the left here on the bottom. So that's gonna go, first one's gonna go, they're symmetrical, so let's see, through this hole into the bottom tab. And then part number 76, 4 times into the corresponding holes. And then part number 77 at the front with the slot towards the top. It's gonna go like this. And then the other 73 is on the other side. So we can start from the front. Nope, wrong tab on the bottom. And then slowly, one by one, connect, line up the other pieces. As you're lining up, just squeeze them together so they're nice and tight, just like this. Next step, part number 55. One is on the left hand side of board number 3. The other one is on the left hand side of board number 4, right next to the 78 part. So, and we need, let's see, part number 44, we need 4 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get those connected first. They're gonna go on these little tabs, on 2 on front, 2 on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, then we need part number 3. We need 4 of those. You got 1. I got 2, 3. On board number 4, I lost 1, just flew out. So I got a spare 1 on board number 3 at the center here. And we need to wax all of these. All right, 1, 2, 3. 4. All right, and they go on part number 55 first from one side. Then we need part number 56. I got 1, 2, 3 here. There was one more that fell out that was on board number, I think also on board number 3. No, that was on board number 4 right here. It fell out a little bit earlier. Make sure the design is towards the outside, that cut line. Lock it on one and lock it on the other. Then port number 3 goes on the other side, on the opposite end, all the way as far as it can go. And then we turn this upside down and we insert that little port number 3 into the slot, and then lock it up with port number 56, front and back. Just like this. Make sure they spin. You gotta give it like a few good runs, because otherwise they're like the wax is a little sticky in the beginning. And then step number 3, we put parts number 79 and 78 on one and the other side. And that completes our assembly once we insert those. So let's see, 70, back. This is towards the front, right? So the thicker portion is going to be towards the front, towards this hook. So that's where you want to go. That's a little coal cart for our locomotive. Front and back, front and back. And the cart is done, and that goes right behind our locomotive. Hook up on this little hook right here, cleaning out the space, and lock it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little more friction again for some reason. After putting all these extra parts, somewhere I squeeze more than I need to. So once again, need to play with it a little bit. And then once you play enough times, the locomotive will go. There you go. So a few more tries. As I said, you need to play with it to get all the gears settled, you know, to clean up all the friction that is in there. And then it will, once again, it's not unwinding again to the point that it was before, so need to play with it a little bit more. I want to say maybe another 10-15 times for sure, but as you can see, there's a little bit of a movement already in there. So I say go ahead and continue playing with it until it runs nice and smooth across the surface. As I said, once you put some extra parts in there, it just tightens things up again, and need to clear it up again to loosen it up. So the more you play with it, the easier and faster it's gonna go, until your rubber band completely unwinds. Well, this completes our assembly. A few more tries. Almost. I want to say maybe another 20-30 tries as before, until it unwinds nice and easy. So continue playing with it until the key unwinds right about to this point. Once it does that, then the train will go, locomotive will go probably about a foot or maybe a little bit more. Well, in either case, this completes our assembly. If you guys have any questions, send us email or you can leave a comment below. Email is info@ugears.us. Don't forget to visit our sister store, which is ukidstoys.com. That's UKIDZTOYS.com. If you have or if you need any part replacements, you can send us email to info@ugears.us, or you can contact manufacturer on their website ugearsmodels.com, order parts there, or send them email at customerservice@ugearsmodels.com. It was great showing you this again. We'll see you guys next time with another exciting model. That was Mini Locomotive by UGears, and this was Dimitri with Ukidz LLC. See you guys next time.